In today's day and age, whenever it seems like all we're getting are a bunch of remakes and remasters, it is so nice and refreshing to actually be getting a sequel to a pretty popular game that I figured was just like dead in the water until now. Hi there, everybody. Today I want to talk about Phantom Brave 2, The Lost Hero, released for the PS4, the PS5, the Nintendo Switch, and the PC over on Steam. And as many of you might be aware, this is a sequel to Phantom Brave, the Bermuda Triangle, which previously released back on the PS2, the Nintendo Wii, and the PSP. Yeah, there's some older systems, and that was over 21 years ago, so it has been quite literally like a lifetime since we've gotten new entry into this series. So, miracles can happen, folks. Series can get resurrected. This here is proof, and now let me tell you all about my experience with it. First things first, this is a strategy RPG, but it's not grid-based like Final Fantasy Tactics or Tactics Ogre. Instead, it's circular-based, like the recent Diofield Chronicle or the much older Growlancer series. And interestingly enough, according to Nisa, they want to continue this series as one of their new pillars of strategy RPGs, kind of like how they put up the Disgaea series pretty regularly. So that's pretty cool if you ask me, and I do think that as JRPG fans, we owe it to them to show our appreciation for supporting these older IPs with a brand new game and sequel, and not just taking like the lazy way out with a remake or a remaster like a whole lot of other companies are doing these days. But anyway, let's get on into the game itself. This here takes place 6 months after the events of the first game, but do not think that that means that you need to have played the first game in order to understand this one, because you don't. Within the first 10 minutes of the game, you've already sailed into a brand new archipelago of islands, and you've lost your best friend, Ash, who was your companion throughout the first game. So everything about the first game is just kind of like dumped right from the get-go. Shortly afterwards, you meet up with your new friend, Apricot, the deceased daughter of a disgraced and missing pirate captain. And because Marona, your hero, can communicate with phantoms, together you both set on out to find and rescue Ash, protect the various other islands from the marauding pirates, and discover the whereabouts of Apricot's father. All told, the storyline isn't anything to write home about, but the dialogue exchanges between the characters are pretty funny, and it does have that classic humor that Nisa is so well known for. In addition to this, everyone is fully voice acted, from your own characters to the villains that you run into, all the way down to the little Mook NPCs, and you can choose between either English or Japanese voice acting. And also, rejoice, because if you ever played the first game, then you know how difficult it was. And whenever I first played the demo over at PAX West a couple of months ago, I found out that this one was really hard too. And I talked to other people in line who played the demo, and all of them were like, oh my god, this is so freaking hard. And I just could not have this again. So I decided to do something about it. So I went and I personally spoke with some of the higher ups at Nisa, and I requested that they put in an easier mode. And at first, they said they had no plans to include one. But then, a couple of weeks later, after some consideration, and after my interview with Kento Jabana, the scenario writer for the game, they emailed me back to thank me for my suggestion, and they said, yeah, we've actually included an easy mode. So I'm happy to say this should not be as frustrating an experience as the first game was. So now, with that out of the way, let's talk about the gameplay. And I'll just say this, if you played the original Phantom Brave, you'll probably know what you're getting yourself into, because for the most part, it's more of the same, but with some added bells and whistles that we'll go over in a minute. But if you haven't played the original game, then you're in for a wild ride, because it's very different from just about every single other strategy RPG ever made. As I said before, you play as Marona, and not only can she communicate with phantoms, but she can also make them appear temporarily in the real world by confining them to various objects that you find about the field. Things like rocks, grass, trees, boxes, and even cannons. And you'll start off each battle alone by yourself, and then just kind of have to look around and see what's available for you to confine. And each object will bestow different bonuses and abilities upon your characters that you attach them to. For example, a rock will increase their defense, while a flower will increase their intelligence. Then, once you have everybody set up on the field, you're able to let loose and kick ass and take names. In a cool twist though, the phantoms that you summon use a class system, similar to the one found in Disgaea, where you can create warriors, fighters, merchants, healers, wizards, warlocks, samurais, engineers, and even different monster phantoms, You name it, and the game lets you create them. You can, of course, also adjust their stats and their appearances as you create them, so everybody is different. Over the course of the game, though, you'll also be picking up named characters with their own unique powers who slowly join up with your cause as you liberate the various islands. Now, here's the kicker though. Just because you summon out one of your phantoms onto the field does not mean that they are there permanently. Each class has a remove stat, and after a set amount of turns, they will be removed from the battlefield. And of course, some classes have higher remove numbers than others, so you really have to tinker around with all the different classes and find the playstyle that suits you best. There's also a turn order gauge in the right-hand corner of the screen to let you know whose turn it is next, so you really can plan out your attacks. Now, the main way of upgrading your classes and giving them new abilities is through the use of weapons. Equipping your characters with various weapons is paramount, as not only will they bestow and teach new abilities, but they will also increase your stats exponentially. We're talking the difference between like 50 HP unarmed and 500 HP with like the most basic of swords. So if you're struggling, you really just need to look at your weaponry. Despite this game's appearance, it's not one of those like hand-holdy babies for a strategy RPG. This game will chew you up and spit you out with no mercy. So if you're looking for a challenge, you've come to the right place because, spoiler alert, even on the easy mode, I still had some of my guys die multiple times. So that's it for the battle basics, but there's some additional things that I want to go over here too. Protections are back from the first game, where various items upon the field bestow bonuses to one another. There might be a rock that bestows extra defensive power upon the flowers that it's linked to, or in one particularly nasty boss fight, there's a cactus that's bestowing invincibility upon the boss, but the cactus itself is also invincible. So the only way to get rid of it is to literally throw it off the screen. Some of the other cool additions are gadgets, things like guns and cannons. And you can either kind of like get behind the cannon and fire it yourself, or you can actually confine a phantom to the cannon and bestow the phantom's power to it, allowing you to move about the field and like blow everyone to smithereens up as a cannon. Another really cool addition is confriending. That's whenever Marona links up with her friends, and then together they kind of like go on like a rampage. It's super satisfying. But don't just think that this game is all just story and gameplay, because there's a lot of stuff that you can also do back at your home base. You can send your guys out on expeditions to find hidden items, drink up at the juice bar with your sexy chef, go shopping, create gadgets, or even upgrade your pirate ship and your crew. Personally, at first, I went into this thinking that it was going to be unbearably difficult like the first game, or conversely, maybe too kiddie, but I was really pleasantly surprised. The addition of the easy mode makes all the difference in the world, the new quality of life additions make the gameplay much smoother, and I really did find myself thoroughly enjoying the storyline, because it doesn't take itself too super seriously, and it's full of inside jokes and humor. So if you're a fan of the strategy RPG genre at all, I really do think that this here is a definitive hidden gem that you will totally enjoy. So that's it for my full review of Phantom Brave 2: The Lost Hero, which you can purchase for the PS4, PS5, Nintendo Switch, and PC, in some links found below. I do hope that you enjoy it as much as I did. And if you are going to be buying it, let's leave a comment here and let's all talk and chat about it. And if you like this video, there's another video that I really do think that you'll thoroughly enjoy as well. So please do be sure to check that one out and tell me about your experience with this series. Leave a like, and as always, have a good day.